Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today is Wednesday, and I do my Q&A video on Wednesday, where you guys ask me your questions, and I try to do my best to answer them. And yeah, so we got some really great questions this week. I'm going to try to give some great answers and show some pretty cool books, some Golden Age horror, and some Platinum Age stuff, some Wally Wood, whole bunch of cool things. So let's get into it. The very first question comes from Gantz. He wrote, "Wonderful. Thank you for replying. We'll definitely look into those modern key issues." So I mentioned some modern keys in the last video. Check it out. I recommend you check out all the Q&A videos. I show some pretty cool things in those videos. The next part he said, "Do you have any Platinum Age comics that you can show off? And if so, which are your favorite?" Well, I'm going to show a couple. Actually, there's another, I don't have that much Platinum Age, maybe about 5 books altogether, maybe 6, somewhere around there. It's not that many. But I'm only going to show 2 because the other ones are incredibly buried. And I was debating about pulling them out, but it was just like, it's like 3 or 4 layers of stuff that I had to go through. Actually, I'm going to grab one more. Sorry. Had to grab, I forgot that I left the other one over here. I'm going to show 3 actually, just because I figured, hey, I'll do a little bit more than just show 2. So I'm going to show 1 that's a comic, and the other 2 are not comics. So actually I'm going to show this one first, and actually there's one behind me that I'm going to grab as well. So I might show 4, because I'm thinking, hey, actually some of them I can grab pretty easily. After I started recording. So this is Funnies #1, and this is kind of a cool book. I show it quite often actually because I kind of like this book. It is the first appearance of Alley Oop, Captain Easy, and who else? Mud and Jeff, and Tailspin Tommy. So it's just a bunch of first appearances. I'm a big first appearance collector. I love having first appearances, especially not just from the Golden Age, but from the Platinum Age. It's just so cool. Like this is from 1934, 36 actually, sorry, 36. And that's sort of near the end of the Platinum Age. The Platinum Age ran up to 38, almost into 39. Really, the mark of the end of the Platinum Age was the advent of Superman. Action 1 was really what set the Golden Age of comics. So this is one of those Platinum Age comics from 1936. So that's the first one. Put it over there. And then I'm going to show you a really cool book. I'm going to show you a couple of books, but this is an interesting one. This one, like, probably I can't show it on YouTube. I actually did show it in a previous video, but this is Mickey Mouse Annual. And this is the one where they use the N-bomb, the N-word, a whole bunch of times. It was a different time. They didn't mean it they meant it in sort of a mischievous way, not necessarily a bad way, but they do use the N-word a lot in this book, and it's just kind of funny. So I like when innocent characters do not so innocent things. So this is Mickey Mouse Annual from 1934, I believe. I'll open it up a little bit. Does it say? I believe it's from 1934 or 33. One of those two. Kind of very nice art inside. Very thick pages. Like it's not too, like it looks like a lot of pages, but it's really not that many. It's maybe 30 or 40 pages. It just has really, really thick pages. Okay, so that's that one. And then another one I want to show, and I gotta grab it so you hear me grabbing it from behind. And this one's kind of interesting. I actually received this, and you'll see it in a future unboxing, so it's kind of weird that I'm showing it now, but it is one that will be in a future unboxing. But I kind of wanted to show it. It's Mickey Mouse, the Male Pilot, and then you can see the back. It's kind of cute. This is just a kind of a cool book. You can see the side. The funny thing is, this is actually not the real cover. The guy created a dust jacket for this little, they're called Little Big Books. He created a dust jacket that has the same cover as the real thing. So he just, I don't know why he did that, but I guess just to protect it. So the male pilot. This is from 1934. It's a first printing, so it's kind of cool. But he created, the guy that sold it to me created that kind of little dust jacket to protect it. So I thought that was interesting. And the last one that I'll show you for my Platinum Age books, this is from 1934. And this is my favorite Platinum Age book by far. This is Spicy Detective Stories from November of 1934. I believe it should say. No, it doesn't say, but it is from 1934. This is the first appearance of Sally the Sleuth. It's in really rough shape, but it's the first appearance of a character that I really like. Sally the Sleuth is just such a cool character, just such a funny character. And just to have her first appearance is kind of cool, and such a rare book. These spicy detective stories, insanely rare. This like really hard to find, and they usually command big bucks, even in the worst condition. So yeah, this is kind of a cool book to have. So this is a pulp from 1934, first appearance of Sally the Sleuth. Okay, so that's that one. So the next question is from Lady Pop Hunter. I'm a huge fan of Phantom Stranger and The Shadow. Can you please show some of the ones you have? Well, I'm going to do all Phantom Stranger, okay? I didn't bring any Shadow, and you will see a Shadow in a future unboxing, because I did get a Golden Age Shadow, so that's coming in a future unboxing. But I'm going to show Phantom Stranger. And I brought a bunch to show you. So I'm going to start with number 1. This is Phantom Stranger number 1. And this is actually the very first appearance in the Golden Age of the Phantom Stranger. So this is from 1952. Yeah, 52. And that's the first appearance of the Phantom Stranger. He is actually a Golden Age character. Most people don't realize that he's a Golden Age character, but he is a Golden Age character. And the Golden Age series was very short-lived. It only ran for 6 issues. And I'll show you number 2. I was going to take it out of the bag, but it's a little awkward. So this is number 2. And then we got number 3. And the original Phantom Stranger, he's kind of like a like paranormal detective, I guess would be the best way to say it. Kind of like, I always kind of relate him to Scooby-Doo. The stories are very, very silly almost. Very like similar kind of story format as Scooby-Doo. You know, they always find out that the paranormal thing is not necessarily as paranormal as they thought. So this is Scooby-Doo, Phantom Stranger number 3. And as I said, it only ran 6 issues. You've got number 4. Let's see if I can show that quite well. Yeah, that's number 4. And then number 5. I like number 5 a lot. It's kind of like a roller coaster one. And number 6. So that's the first series for Phantom Stranger. Now, Phantom Stranger came back in the Silver Age, and they brought him in Showcase, so Showcase 80. And this is the first Silver Age appearance of the Phantom Stranger. Now, I actually have all the Phantom Strangers where it got the new title. They revamped the character a lot. They added a lot more texture to his personality and character. I mean, just so much more complicated character. Very interesting character. He has like this necklace that, I'm not sure, do they show it? Okay, well, he has this necklace. And basically, he is punished, basically, for, you know, being the one involved with Jesus. He's kind of like the Judas character. And he basically has all these silver coins, 13 silver coins, you know, the bribe that was given to Judas to betray Jesus. And he loses 1 coin if he does something amazing. Like, so until he loses all the coins, he's basically punished to serve, you know, and protect humanity and all this kind of stuff. So he has to basically do good deeds in order to get rid of all these coins. It's kind of a cool character, very, very interesting character. So that's Phantom Stranger. And just a really great character. I really like Phantom Stranger. I really hope that someday he gets some of the love that he deserves, you know, and gets maybe some TV series or show, at least a movie maybe. Okay, the next one is from the P-Man. Hey, Alan, great video. I know, as you know, I'm a comic book collecting. I'm new to comic book collecting and only collect Golden Age Disney. Could you make a video showing some Golden Age Disney keys, maybe listing some as well? Thank you. Okay, well, what I did is I'm going to show you a specific series from Disney. And I got to grab it all. Okay, so I had to grab them all. So this is Disney, my Disney collection, but this is a very specific series from Disney. So a lot of the keys for Disney actually don't appear in this series, but appear in a different series, which is Dell 4 Colors. Dell 4 Colors has a lot of Disney keys in it. These ones are all Walt Disney comics and stories. So I'm going to show you these, and maybe in a future video, I will show all the Dell ones. Actually, I did do that before. So if you watch one of my older videos, I actually show all the Dell 4-color first appearances, and there's a lot. There's like Uncle Scrooge and like, I don't know. There's like a bunch. I'm trying to think of them all. But there are a bunch in the 4 colors, like Bambi and Cinderella and Tinkerbell and Peter Pan, and all those ones made their first appearance in the 4 colors. But I'll show you these Disney ones. This is truly Disney instead of Dell 4 color. But we're gonna start with, actually I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna put this down for a second. This is the first one. This is Walt Disney Comics and Stories #1. So it's a key just because it is #1, but also it has a really interesting thing about it. It is the very first appearance of Daisy Duck. And the funny thing about this book is it's not actually the first appearance of Daisy Duck. It's always recorded as the first appearance of Daisy Duck, but it really isn't. Because in this book, it predates Daisy Duck. It actually calls her Donna Duck. And it's just a weird thing. She's really the Daisy character, but they refer to her as Donna Duck, which is kind of cool. And there's like a centerfold with her on it. So I thought that was kind of interesting that it's kind of it is her first appearance, but actually kind of with a different name. So I thought that was interesting. The next one is Walt Disney Comics and Stories #3. And this is the first appearance of Huey, Dewey, Louie, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, in comic format. Now, there is like magazine format that actually predates this by many years, but this is their first comic appearance. So Walt Disney Comics and Stories #3. Great cover too with Donald Duck. The next one is Walt Disney Comics and Stories #25. This is the first appearance of Chip and Dale. Now, it's really kind of a reprint, and it's just a 4-page story, but it's kind of considered a first appearance, but not. It's kind of weird. So this is first appearance of Chip and Dale. And then next big key. So one of the big keys or a lot of the keys associated to Walt Disney is Carl Barks. He is just like the artist associated to Disney. You know, he kind of made Uncle Scrooge. He was well known for the way he drew Donald Duck. And his first appearance in terms of artist for Donald Duck and for Disney is this book. This is Walt Disney Comics and Stories #31. Very big key. Not many people realize that this is a key, but it is definitely a big key. So this is Walt Disney Comics and Stories #31. First, Carl Barks. So yeah, so that's kind of big. The next one that's really big is this one. This is a Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 63. This is the first appearance of Pinocchio and Jimmy the Cricket in comics, so that's kind of cool. So kind of a key book. And then we got, this is another Chip and Dale. So this is where Chip and Dale get their own story, I guess. So this is like a sequential story, and it's referred to as being the first comic appearance of Chip and Dale, even though the other one is also the first comic appearance of Chip and Dale. So kind of weird, but this is Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 69. Okay. And then we got Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 88. And this is the first appearance of a Gladstone Gander. Just a kind of a lucky character that just another one of these duck-like characters. And okay, yeah. And this is kind of a big key. This is Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 98. This is the first appearance of Uncle Scrooge. Not really, but Uncle Scrooge in Walt Disney Comics and Stories. Okay, so this is the first Uncle Scrooge in this series. And this book actually can command fairly big money in high grade. So just like any Disney ones, in high grade they go for big money. Then we get Walt Disney Comics and Stories 135. This is the first appearance of the Money Bin. So kind of an interesting book. If you're a big fan of Uncle Scrooge, well, this is where that money bin comes from. So one of the things that most people associate with Uncle Scrooge is where he's swimming in the money. It's like kind of his thing. And this is the place where all that money is stored in his big money bin. So Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 135. There's some others that I have that I didn't bring. So another one that I could have brought is, actually, did I say the right number for this? Yeah, 135. Another one that I could have mentioned is 125, which is the first Junior Woodchucks, and 134, which is the first Beagle Boys. I have both of those, but they're elsewhere. Next one that I have to show is 140. And this is the first appearance of Gyro Gearloose. And just another one of these kind of key characters for DuckTales and all those kind of shows related to Uncle Scrooge. So his first appearance is in this book, Gyro Gearloose. So kind of a cool character too. And that would be all the major keys for the Disney Comics and Stories run. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I have a whole bunch written down here. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Those are all the big ones. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I had a video where I showed all the Dell 4-color major Disney keys as well. And you can check that out by searching through my videos. I'd have to find it for you, but search Dell when you look through my videos and you maybe can find it. Or I can send you a link. I'm nice that way. Okay, the next one is from Night Tiger Comics. This is actually one I had to do a little bit of research, actually, for this one. So Night Tiger Comics wrote to me and said, I always wondered why Fazetta made Vampirella look like she is slightly pregnant. Did Vampirella ever have a child? My wife requested that I don't bring Vampirellas in the house because she says it's soft porn. I disagree with that. You know, Vampirella has some skimpiness in terms of her clothing, but you know, it's pretty tame stuff. It's just her running around in skimpy clothes, and sometimes a boob might fall out, but not usually with her, more like with the other characters. But it's pretty tame in my opinion, compared to some, maybe I just collect really weird stuff, but yeah. But the question is, was Vampirella ever pregnant? Well, the answer is yes, no, kind of, if that makes any sense. Fazetta drew Vampirella in sort of a classic style. So that is why she always has that kind of a little bit of a round tummy, because women naturally actually have a little bit of roundness around their tummy. It's the ovaries. It creates that extra little roundness. And, you know, that's normal. That's normal. So he drew her in that kind of classic style. Now, was she ever pregnant? Well, not yet. But they're actually working on a story. It's Vampirella Year 1 and issue number 6, where she's going to have a baby. Okay, and it's going to be a baby girl. That book comes out in December of 2022. So if you're watching this in the future, yes, she's had a baby. If you're watching this now, she hasn't had a baby yet, but she's due soon. So definitely watch out for that book. I imagine it's going to be a bit of a key because, you know, first Vampirella baby, which will be in December. That book comes out. Okay, next question comes from Comic Book Ninja. Thanks for answering my question. I'm surprised your early Vampirellas are only in mid-grade range. As a big Warren fan as yourself, why didn't you ever try to pursue higher graded copies, especially when they were cheaper in the period that you were collecting them in? Very good question. So beggars can't be choosers is the first thing I have to say. When I was buying Vampirella and all these other Warren-related books, I could only get them in the grades that I could get them. There just wasn't much selection. And also, I was intensely poor. You know, I had to either choose buying Vampirella book or eating, and sometimes, and I would say, hey, I guess I won't eat today. And I get a Vampirella book instead, which is not the greatest thing to do, but I did that a lot. So the thing is, I would buy based on my affordability. And the thing with me is, once I have a book in my collection, I don't really pursue upgrading it. Like, sometimes I do, but not often, unless it's really, really mangled and I really get annoyed, and then I replace it. Like, for example, my Vampirella 7, I have 2 copies of it. One is kind of a rougher, lower grade, and then my other is a mid-grade. That one bothered me, so I upgraded it. Vampirella number 2 was the same way. You know, so I have upgraded some of them, but really it was more of a priority to get the whole collection and get the next book and the next book than spending money on books that I already had. It's the way I think. It's maybe not the best way to think, but often I will be satisfied just to have the book rather than chasing it in that high grade. It's just the way I collect. I know it's kind of weird. I'm less bothered by grade than most people. I do like to have that pretty book, though. I do. I must admit. But yeah, I'm weird. Okay, so Sindicato Megalito wrote, is that Zombie Tramp comic a first print? Also, what is your favorite Catwoman and Wonder Woman covers that you own? Well, so first of all, yes, this is a first print. Incredibly rare. I think there's less than 10 on the census. Incredibly rare book, irreplaceable, basically. So yes, it is a first print. Oh, nothing on the back, so you can't see. I was going to show the back. Yeah, so it's just it's a first print, really hard book to find. You can actually tell that it's a first print. The second prints will have the SR on them. Yeah, this is the first print from 2009, I believe. So yeah, just a really hard book to get. So definitely a first print. And it's signed by Dan Mendoza, the creator. The next thing you asked was my favorite Catwoman and Wonder Woman books. Well, I'm going to show you my favorite Catwoman first. This is my favorite Catwoman. I'll try to get rid of the glare. This is an Adam Hughes cover. I just love this cover. I think it's the greatest cover. I think it's just, there's something about it where she, you know, has that kind of defiant look, but tearful as well. Like the crying. She looks like she was crying. And just, you know, she's been trapped. She's been caught. I just think it's a really great cover. I also like Lois Lane 70, which is the first, Catwoman in the Silver Age. But this one, I love this cover. I think it's just a great cover. But for Wonder Woman, I brought a bit more. I brought a few books. We'll start with another Adam Hughes. So we got this one. This is Wonder Woman number 184, I believe. Yeah, 184. I remember correctly. It's really hard to not get the glare. I just, so much glare. There's no bag or anything, but it's really glary. I just like this because it has sort of the mixture of Golden Age and modern Wonder Woman. Just think that's really cool. And you got even Hitler at the bottom here. That's kind of funny that it's a Hitler cover. So just a really great, and I just like the way it's been done where it's kind of has that vintage look to it. So that's my favorite, one of my favorite Wonder Womans. And then another really big Wonder Woman for me. I just think this is cool. I just really like this cover. Is Wonder Woman number 7. This one is just cool for the fact that it's Wonder Woman for president. I just think that's so awesome. I just like this whole Americana, you know, she's running for president kind of look, and all the people in the audience, like, you know, cheering her on and stuff. I just think it's just such a great classic cover. So this is Wonder Woman number 7. And then the next one is my favorite. And probably Sensation 1 is another one I should show, but I've shown it so many times. This is Wonder Woman number 1. So just a great cover. Just a classic cover as well. Like, just so many things about it. Like, this is that classic scene where she's, you know, going across no man's land and with a horse, and, you know, she's going against the Nazis and stuff. I just think it's a really great cover. So Wonder Woman number 1. And that's a cover by H.G. Peter. Okay, so hope you enjoyed those. Okay, next one is from Matt Blogs. What are there any Marvel, including Timely and Atlas series that you've got, trying to get, or attempted to get a complete run of? There's a couple. So I'm only going to show you one, but there are some that I'm working on, but really poorly. I don't even have any. Like, for example, Captain America. Well, that is one I'd really like to have, like 1 through whatever, all the Timelies. I don't have any. I really want them, and I bid on them whenever I see them, but I never seem to win. So I don't have any Timely Captain Americas. But keep on watching, and probably in the future I will get one, because I do really like that series. But there is another series that I really like for Marvel. It's Marvel Comics Mystery Comics, I should say. This is the first appearance of Namora. This is number 82. Very big key. This is actually a reprint cover, like a repro or facsimile cover, but it's the original book inside. I bought a coverless copy because I was so desperate to get this book. So it's just a hard book to find. And I missed out on it a couple times. And then we got number 89. So just a great one with Blonde Phantom on the cover. And we got number 90, which is the Blonde Phantom's kind of origin story, I believe. And also Sun Girl on the cover. So kind of a cool, another Golden Age character that I like. I'm trying to get, like, I'd love to have a complete run of that series. So far, I got 3. Those Timely, Atlas, early Marvel comics are so hard to get. Golden Age Marvel is really, really challenging and quite pricey. So I'm starting on it. So you can say, okay, based on now, that's when I started really getting into it, because that's all I have. But it's one of those things I'm working on, and hopefully I'll have bigger collection to show you in the future. So yeah, those are the ones that I have there. And I'm just going to move things around a bit. Next question is from King Collector. Do you collect any underground comics, and what's your favorite? Actually, I think I brought the wrong books to show for this, but I'm going to show you one kind of not really underground. It's more independent. I wish I had brought, okay, so I actually do collect underground comics. So ones that I just won a lot actually on the weekend for Zap. So I'm a big fan of Robert Crumb. And so I won Zap on the weekend, and Zap the 0 and the number 1. It's a second print for the 0, but I'm happy just to have that book. And then there's some others that I collect, kind of like Mr. Natural and all those kind of ones from the underground comics. I'm going to show you one indie comic that I collect, though, that I really do enjoy. I did show the Zombie Tramp, but I figure I'll show you one other comic that I enjoy. It's an indie comic, not really underground, but it is indie. And it's Tarot, the Black Witch. I just really like this book. I consider it not really underground, I know, but it is one that... you have to special order it from your LCS, so it's kind of like underground in that respect, where it's hard to get these books. So that's number 1, and number 1 actually had a variant as well. So this is the variant, or maybe the other one's the variant. I'm not sure which is the A and the B cover. And then this is the latest issue. So just a very kind of sexy. See, this is much more sexy than Vampirella was. This is 134. So just a really cool series. I know it's not underground, but I do collect some underground stuff. I also collect stuff from Rand Homes. So I have like cocaine comics and a lot of these other kind of books as well. So I do collect stuff, and I do collect stuff from Bill Ward. So these are, some books that are kind of, and Stanton is another one that I collect. So really kind of obscure books that a lot of these underground ones you can't really show on YouTube. So they are in my collection, but I often can't show them because the covers are very, very promiscuous. Another one I'd like to get is Fritz the Cat. I do have some of that, but so there's a bunch. So I do collect, yes. Last question comes from the Beer Geek. Great name. Instead of the Comic Geek, he's the Beer Geek. Can you show your favorite Wally Wood covers? Okay, so actually I brought a ton of Wally Wood. Not everything in my collection, but a bunch. So I'm going to show you a bunch of Wally Wood. And these are all, I really like Wally Wood, so these are all kind of some of my favorites. I'm going to show you first my Seduction of the Innocent ones. These are all the ones that were mentioned in Seduction of the Innocent, and they're just great Wally Wood covers as well. So this is Weird Science number 19. So that's a nice Wally Wood cover. Ray Bradbury story inside. So that's kind of cool. And then we got shock suspense stories. You got the guy there, and he's trying to get away from I think it's this ghost of his wife that he murdered, basically. So yeah. And then that's shock suspense stories number 4. And we got Inside Crime number 1. And there's actually 2 versions of this. I think this is the right one though. So yeah, this is Inside Crime number 1, or number 2, I should say, actually. Yeah. And then we got another, these are all Seduction of the Innocent ones. I'll show you this one I gotta kind of pull out. This is Martin Kane. It's another Wally Wood cover, and I think he did the interior art as well. And it's from 1950, Martin Kane number 4, but it's really number 1. They would often do that where they would say it's number 4, but really it's issue number 1. So that's kind of cool. And now I'll show you my two favorite Wally Wood. Actually, before I show my 2 favorite, I'll show you another Wally Wood that's, well, it's actually quite great, but it's not necessarily my favorite. But it is a great one. This is Eerie number 4. Just a great cover. He also did the cover for Eerie 3 as well. So Really great cover. Lots of skulls. And I'll show you one of my favorite. This is Weird Science. I show this book a lot because I do love it. This is Weird Science number 16? Yeah, 16. Okay. And it's the Mars Attacks, you know, inspiration cover. So just a really great cover. I love the helmets. I think it's just a really great story. It almost reminds me of like those Steven Spielberg kind of situations where you got the kids and they're sort of hiding behind something and they see some crazy event. It just reminds me of those kind of Steven Spielberg kind of movie situations. So yeah, so this is Weird Science number 16. Classic Wally Wood cover. So, and then we have my favorite Wally Wood cover, which is Shock Suspense Stories, number 6. It's just I just think the way that the woman's done is really great. The hooded figure looming over her, just so menacing. I just think it's really great. It looks like they're going to light her on fire or something. I don't know what they're going to do to her. And you got all the hooded figures in the background. Just pretty crazy stuff. Just think it's really great. Pre-code horror. It's just awesome. So that has been my Wednesday Q&A video. If you have a question that you want answered, put it in the comments below. If there's certain books you want me to show, I will do my best to dig them out of my collection. Sometimes I'm not so sure if I can find them, but I do try. So yeah, and maybe if you ask me about that underground comics collection thing again and say, hey, show me some underground ones, I will show some that I can show that are safe to show. Because I actually do have a fairly good collection of underground comics. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Thanks for, just asking the questions. And please subscribe to the channel and like it and all that kind of stuff so that I can get more of an audience. I'm really trying to build this channel, and I'm really trying to build a community. And part of my doing these Q&A videos and my Friday challenge videos is really to try to build a comic community. And that's really been my goal. So I hope you help me in that goal. And thanks for watching, all that kind of stuff. Bye-bye for now.